Hello, my fellow DBZ fans, and welcome to an edition of Pennies for Thoughts. I'm your host, Jay Money, and today I'm going to be discussing my hopes and predictions for the upcoming Dragon Ball Z movie, Revival of F, and my hopes for pretty much where the series is going altogether. I kind of want to talk about where the series was when it ended, Dragon Ball Z series, and how these new movies, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods and Dragon Ball Z Revival of F, how they're really going to hopefully change some of the things that they've done wrong, in my opinion, with the series. Now, but starting off, I just want to say that I am a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. I've seen every episode, and it will be permanently placed in the top 5 list of my favorite anime for all time. Permanently. With that being said, I do have a few little complaints about how the overall series, the Dragon Ball Z series, just Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball GT, none of that, just straight Dragon Ball Z, and my issues with the series itself. My first issue would be the storytelling, just a lack of anything new, nothing really changed too much, and the storytelling, it got really repetitive. Since I'm thinking around the Android Saga and Cell Saga, they just kept the same formula pretty much for storytelling. A new enemy comes into play, he's 1,000 times stronger than anything they've ever faced before, everyone stops and gets a really dumb look on their face, and then something happens where either they train or there's a new Super Saiyan transformation implemented in the series, and everyone again gets a shocked look and says, oh man, I've never sensed anything like this, etc, etc. It just, to me, it seemed like a really lazy way to tell a story. And I know Dragon Ball Z is famous for its epic battles and how they are epic, hands down. There's nothing to be said about the battles of Dragon Ball Z except for epic. But I feel like Akira Toriyama just kind of lost his way with the storytelling altogether. Like in Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, I was really glad to see that the setting was actually taking place in like Bulma's birthday party, and you got to see how all the characters interacted with each other on their downtime, and you got to get a really good feel for how Gohan and Vidal's relationship is going, and like just so much more underneath than just the constant fighting and battles. I also want to say that the movie Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, I think, was one of the biggest changes in the series, mainly because of how they told the story. It seemed to get back to a little bit more story rather than just constant fighting. For example, we're always used to Goku finding a new enemy that's so much stronger than anything they've ever faced before, like we said. But Goku always finds some way to win, either a new transformation or either they find some way to transfer their powers to him. Something happens to where he wins inevitably and, back to normal. But in this movie, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the new Dragon Ball Z movie, Battle of Gods, I recommend you go check it out before you continue watching this video. Anyway, Goku loses the fight. Against Beerus, the God of Destruction, he loses the fight. And upon losing, Beerus also explains to him that there are so many more powerful people out there, because there are 12 universes all in all within the whole Dragon Ball Z universe. There are 12 universes, each having their own set of warriors, and some being more powerful than anything Goku or Beerus can even hope to achieve. With that being said, I got chills down my spine at the end of this movie. I was more excited at the end of Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods than I was when I started watching the movie. And I haven't had that happen to me in a very long time with Dragon Ball Z, so it was very, very welcome feeling. It made me feel like my childhood is coming back, full throttle, awesome. Now, I want to discuss a little bit of Dragon Ball Z, the Revival of F movie, the one that's coming out, and we haven't really seen too much of it yet. Where there's some trailers on YouTube and a bunch of people talking about it, but we haven't really seen too much of it. What we have seen are images of character changes, like I'm gonna just jump right into this one. Gohan's new look, his goofy hairdo, and his goofy ass tracksuit, the green, almost looking like a retarded version of Yusuke. And here's why I'm not worried about it, okay? I get that Gohan is a nerd, and that's who he is. That's the character that he's developed into. He's not like his father. He's not like Piccolo. He is just, oh, he wants to be smart. He wants to be a nerd, and that's his own thing. That's his individuality poking through. And Toriyama putting emphasis on this, putting emphasis on a new look and giving him a little bit more of his even more individuality is welcomed again. I welcome that because it means that he's expanding on not just his story and the possibilities for further installments, but he's expanding on his character depth and how each individual character is viewed. I love the idea of Gohan sticking to what he does, being a nerd, but also sometimes a fighter. Gohan used to be my favorite character, mind you. I started watching the series and when Gohan was fighting Cell in the Cell Saga at the Cell games, and I fell in love with that character because he was my age and he was complete awesome badass. Slowly my character preference started to change, and upon right now, Vegeta is my favorite character. But with that being said, even I still respect Gohan. I respect Gohan for who and what he is as a character and his own person, and Akira Toriyama going further to change his look and put more emphasis on who he is maturing into is a great thing. I welcome it, I love it, and I actually think that everyone's going to be really surprised. I don't think that he would make Gohan completely bitchified. I think that he might actually give him a little bit more power than... I just think that we're all going to be really surprised when we see this movie. And again, like I want to talk about Krillin. Krillin's doing his own thing. He's got this little police officer helmet on, and you know, it's funny as hell seeing a midget police officer. You can imagine getting pulled over by a midget police officer, but not knowing he can do a Kamehameha wave. It's fucking funny as hell. But again, it shows that Toriyama is progressing his characters and maturing the story along. It's really he's really putting a lot of effort into it. And my hopes for this movie, my real hope is that he can keep this formula and go beyond. I expect to see new Dragon Ball Z movies, or hopefully a brand new series with the possibilities of the 12 universes, with more storytelling, with more character depth. All in all, I just want to talk a little bit about that and express my feelings on how this series was and the new direction it's taking. I have nothing but the highest hopes for it. Yeah, I want to close by saying, if you guys have any different opinions, or you want to talk a little bit about, you know, if you agree, disagree, or whatever, just, you know, leave comments below. And thank you. Take it easy, guys.